All right. How you guys doing? It's Arbanaka. Um, had the chance to do some thinking today, and I usually come across a lot of videos, especially in the manosphere, when it comes to red pill content, and it's quite divisive when it comes to the sexist with the genders. You have men on one end blaming women for all the problem that's been going on in the world or everything that's going bad in their life. And on the other hand, you also have women doing the same thing, doing the exact same thing, men and shit or women and shit. And it's like, I tend to laugh at it because there is this envy, yet admiration for a man that understand the whole danger when it comes to relationship, that understand the danger that comes with being married and all that stuff, yet doesn't have a problem with it. So, according to a lot of philosophies, or according to a lot of cult minded individuals, they would actually regard such, guys such as myself who are married, who are, family men, they would regard them as simp, or those who are quote unquote not wise enough, you know. But here's where the fascination comes in as well. Because as a married man who's doing his own thing, who's not shackled by anything, who is the author of his own life. Now, the fascination comes through. It's kind of like when you're watching Mike Tyson having a tigress, and you're wondering, like, this dude must be crazy. How on earth were you able to have a tiger as your pet? So all the logic that would come through would go against having a tiger as a pet, because it's an animal, um could be a very wild animal that can actually end up eating your ass if you don't know how to you know show portray a certain level of dominance. And which is the same thing with a lot of these guys. They expect to be dominant over a female, yet haven't have the proper training or the proper programming to know how to be dominant over a female. And I'm not talking about individual who are in unhappy relationship, because if you are, there's no point of you actually remaining in said relationship. So it's better to be single than to be in an unhappy relationship. But once you are in a happy relationship, it's just, you got to have the balls. You got to have the balls to actually maintain proper dominance. And that is something a lot of these quote unquote red pill guys don't know how to figure that out yet. And so then therefore they would go to through an exterior justification in order to actually, in a way, it's more like a debate to themselves. They will bring out the laws, which they don't really care about. They will bring out a whole bunch of other factors that really has nothing to do in their personal lives, but they will bring it out because they never had such experience into dealing with such affairs. Mind you, relationship is very complicated. And to those who are not in a relationship, ain't nothing wrong with that. But you have to have the ability to be truthful to yourself, to know where is your forte, to know what you're good at and what you're not good at. And a lot of people are not good in relationship. When you're looking at our culture, Our culture, it's a give me, give me, give me culture. It's about me. It's about me. It's about me. You know, how can you make a choice when you have like thousands upon thousands of choices right at your fingertip? Swipe left, swipe right. So it takes discipline, it takes vision, and it takes balls in order for you to actually have a moral high ground and make sure that it's not being crossed. And that has nothing to do with just having a woman. You know, it has to do with any set of individual that actually try to cross you, to which you have to have that boundaries and you could put them at the proper places. But a lot of people, especially male, they don't know how, they haven't yet mastered the ability to put someone in their place without actually having to be derogatory, without actually losing the control of their own emotion, without veering towards a level of vitriol to which it just becomes too emotional. But a man that can actually able to put a woman in her place whenever she crosses the line, your ability to actually say no to a woman is what gains your respect, is what actually gets you to a certain level to which if somebody don't want to follow your rules, then there's no reason to deal with that person. And that's why a lot of men, they want to dance around in the jungle to actually be around the wild beast without any sort of proper training, without any sort of proper dominance. And they get confused. They're like, oh my God, I never thought that she would chew my ass around like this. Or better yet, it becomes easier. Why even put yourself in that position when you could just look at these creatures, these unstable creatures from afar, and then pretend that you have dominance over them? Because at the end of the day, you have a lot of guys that pretend to be dominant, pretending. But this is not a pro marriage channel or against marriage channel. I like balance. I like the ability to actually see many facets of an argument and then to give an honest perspective, what work, what doesn't work. You know, if you are into brothel, so be it. But I will call you up on when you try to use the suffering of others as a justification why you enjoy it. It's kind of like when a drug dealer try to present himself as being pro-black or a leader of the community when your action says otherwise. That's what it comes down to. It's like whatever you are, be that. No need to justify set reason, set action. Because the thing is, every action has a set of reactions, like the butterfly effect. So then, therefore, a lot of people thinking that by justifying what they're doing, maybe to others, maybe to themselves, they think that it's a way to prevent bad karma happening to them. Not bad karma per se, karma of any sort. You know, whatever your action is, it increases the possibility of what will come. You know, case in point, if you are in a marriage, the probability of you getting divorced is likely. But if you visit the brothel, the possibility of you getting a venereal disease is also likely. You might say that, well, all these men that are in these committed relationship or in a marriage and all that stuff, so on and so forth, they're simp. They are risking their livelihood for what you might call it, uncertainty. How many times have Donald Trump been married? Is he still not a billionaire? Or is he a loser? What about Bill Gates? Does him being married makes him a loser? What about the first rapper billionaire, Jay-Z? Does that make him a loser? LeBron James, Steph Curry, the list goes on and on and on. And what about Tom Likas? He's been married 4 times. You would think that if marriage is such a raw deal, he would only been married once. Yet for some reason, so many motherfuckers keep coming back. And there's a say too, well, I'm on my purpose. I don't want to get married until I'm rich, until I'm this, until I'm that. Yet, if you never take the chance to build your moral compass, you thinking that just because you have money now, that makes you the better option. It makes you the better option for some. A woman that's actually enjoying stability, that's actually enjoying moral compass and virtue, your money is not going to be as impressive. And the thing is, the only people that's going to be around you at the time will be gold diggers, because you never had the chance to learn the or have the understanding of loyalty, of friendship, or any of the other stuff, because you were too busy being all about the self. Me, 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 me. And when you get in a position to which now a woman will be able to play in that me mindset, the selfish mindset, and the narcissism mindset, and fuck you over. But you might say that, well, it doesn't matter because I'll never get married. I'm gonna just be having random chicks left and right, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna have like a whole freaking house like a Playboy mansion or something. R. Kelly, anyone? He stopped pissing on little girls. He was pissing on grown women, yet he's still getting screwed. So the thing is, you have to place yourself in certain circles. You cannot be around ratchetness and then be surprised that you get fucked over. Now, the whole women initiate 70% of the divorce. The fact that is true. Women initiate divorce a lot more than men. But what else does these facts tell us, or these statistics? Do they tell us about how many of these relationships were in drug abuse, alcohol abuse, or any other factors? And let's face it, back in the days when we were messing around, we all know how hard it is to actually reject a woman once we were through with her, right? So it's either we tell her off, she scratch your car, um, stab your tires, break your windows, and all that shit, or you emotionally starve her to the point that she walks away by herself. Which is easier? Go through the heartache and the headache of actually telling a woman that, you know what, I'm through with you. And with the stigma of society which they place upon men who dump their wives, you know, he's a bad person, he's a piece of shit, he abandoned his family, you name it, right? So then men trying to avoid that stigma will less likely actually apply for divorce. So then what do? They emotionally starve their women, or they took away that shit to which now she end up filing for divorce. So then the choice is on her. It's her idea. And a lot of men as well, when they're through with someone, they don't even want to bother with all the fights and the court system and all that shit. They just want to be like, you know what, I'm gonna pay her off to go away. Yeah. Statistically, does it look bad? Fuck yeah. Women filing for the divorce most of the time. And no, I'm not saying that women are innocent or they had no choice in the matter. No, you have a lot of gold diggers. You come across a lot of gold diggers. But when it comes to breakup, men, we tend to have a really hard time doing that because of the repercussion, because the emotional tsunami that usually come through when you have to reject a woman. So it's easier to make her believe that it was her idea by taking away what feeds the relationship, which is your emotion. They rely upon that. And when you take that away from her, when you make her feel like she no longer matter, then she's gonna go away by herself. And boom, you don't have to feel the stigma of society that tells you that you're a bad person because you dump your wife or you dump your girlfriend or you dump whatever the case may be. So it is quite clever. Do I have any statistic on that? No. I know us, guys. I know how the fuck we operate. And also, um, hold on, there's something else I will address in a further video and stuff like that. But yeah, also I addressed this point because I was on O'Shea's channel, and then this lady, she actually made that point. She couldn't really quite explain it properly, but I saw where she was coming from. And when it comes to this whole scenario of putting most of the blame on one gender, as if like there's this conspiracy where every female got together and say that they're gonna fuck over men. No. Let's look at human nature. Let's look at human nature. Whenever you have a law or you have a practice that benefit one group of people more than another, the beneficiary will not fucking complain. The majority of the beneficiary will not fucking complain because at the end of the day, it's all about self-preservation. Case in point, how often did white people complain when they were locking black dudes up for marijuana crimes? Oh wait, not too many, right? Barely. And you know when they actually start talking about drug reform laws and all that stuff, when they too start getting locked up at a higher number than before. Then all of a sudden, the drug war was being looked at again. Why you think now, all of a sudden, you have like marijuana dispensary for something dudes were getting football numbers for a decade previously, a decade prior, and now to being legalized so many states because more white people were getting screwed by that system. Now let's looking at marriage laws. It is getting there, thanks to the Kevin Federline, thanks to Wendy Williams' soon-to-be ex-husband, thanks to what's that chick name, and thanks to a lot of guy who were like, you know, I'm gonna screw her over too, dude. So women are also getting affected to this, and now they're working to a point that they're gonna start changing these laws until the other party is affected by the unfairness of whatever the system is. It will continue. I'll give you an even better example. Right? Let's speak of alimony. Speaking of alimony, right? How many of you would actually not get any what you gonna call it, after you got fired from a job, you will not collect unemployment? I mean, technically, the job's still paying you, you're not even there. That's a form of alimony right there. And how many of you would actually say no to that money? When you're looking at it from a boss perspective, that is unfair. Why am I paying an employee that no longer works for me? And since men, we like to claim ourselves to be bosses, pay the cost to be the boss. So you could either let your business go under and never create another business again, or you'll be smarter next time you actually have, getting new employees. You're smarter about your choices of employees. You know, at the end of the day, is we have to look into ourselves and find out how much responsibilities am I taking and how much of this is not my fault. Too many guys want to claim to be I'm perfect, want to play the I'm perfect card. Similar to a lot of these broads. You guys are like interchangeable, you know? Oh, I'm a good woman. Oh, I'm a good guy. All these women right here, they just, messing with the Pookies and the Ray Rays, and oh, I'm a good guy. Nobody wants me. So you know what? And the ones that wants me, they let so and so do backflip on them. And how many backflips you did on these broads too? Man, listen. The whole dating scenario has gone through drastic changes. And people are still trying to find their footing. Before, it was about more of a monetary reasoning why people needed to get married. Now, it's much more than that. It's about love, it's about appreciation, it's about you being with a person because you want to, not because you have to. And in each relationship, there's usually two aspects of the things. Because I sometimes said that the power of the relationship relies on the one who cares the least. This is what I mean by that. In every relationship, you have one person that cares a little bit more or worries more about being abandoned. And then you have the other person that worries about losing himself. So in a lot of relationship, the guy tend to worry more about losing himself and the woman tend to worry more about being abandoned. So then therefore, that's where a lot of these conflict arises. And when you have the perfect balance is when the guy have the ability to maintain his balls himself. And then therefore that then translates to a level of security to which now the woman feels secure that she will not be abandoned. I don't know if you guys will ever understand this because it is something that I had to learn myself. It is something that most men who are now like comfortable, they're happy, they don't, they just argue with their wife 1 minute and then laughing with her the next minute. They had to learn all this shit. They had to learn to actually have the ability to maintain their self. A happy man equals a happy marriage. That's the thing. That's how you achieve dominance. You teach her how to keep you happy. And then by her doing so, by her trying her best, by her giving you her all, then you make sure you don't fuck her over so she can continue to give you her best. A lot of you motherfuckers don't know how to do that. That's why married men are looked at with this envy and admiration. Is because we had found the perfect balance to be happy, also provide the security that our family needs. You might say that, man, fuck this shit. That's too much work. I don't want to deal with that. Now imagine, the thing is, the family, the kids rely a lot more now on their parents being happy and their parents actually knowing how to get along with each other in order for them now to actually be happy, for them now to actually be raised in an environment that is not destructive. And as a man, if you don't know how to do that, if you don't know actually how to have that balance, which can be quite delicate from time to time, you got to know when to raise your voice as your chick. You got to know when to actually calm her down. You got to know how to do certain things. And yeah, you got to know when you have to be an asshole. And being an asshole is a requirement when you are in a relationship. You cannot be too agreeable in a relationship. You have to have the ability to maintain your balls. Your woman have to know that you can still hurt her. You just choose not to. And that's that fear. That she knows that she can't fuck with you. And at the same time, when you appreciate her effort to keep you happy, then she's happy. That's a secret. That's a secret. But anyway, you guys can continue listening to all those red pill, these guys that's telling you these bitches and shit that, women would always turn on you. They're not loyal. They're not this. They're not that. Hey, go ahead. Keep at it. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you're still going to be arguing on the internet. Try to convince every dude that's in a relationship, like, bro, you're wasting you're like 40 years old, 50 years old, still wearing your hat backward. Bro, you're wasting your time, man. These women, they ain't loyal. You know what I'm saying? They're going to fuck you over. Make tough for life. When you already hit the wall, all that stuff. How can a man hit the wall once you got money? You will never be able to hit the wall when you have money. You know what I'm saying? Or diabetes and all that shit. I can take care of myself. You know, it's like you have no bond, no good, strong relationship because you think that you're living it up because you can just party all night. Yeah, you could have a whole bunch of freaking people on your social network, but how many of them are actually gonna drop everything for you when you have an emergency? Not too many. So you got to look at things on the long term. You got to look at things from a non-monetary value. There's always gonna be money, man. There's always gonna be like pussy. There's always gonna be a whole bunch of this bullshit. But think of the longest friends that you have in your life and why are they there for? Are they some people that you can count on when you have an emergency? Are these the type of people like, if you can you be vulnerable around them? Because we think that we can all, we're all made of steel. We can't be vulnerable. We are, dude. We can be vulnerable. But who can you trust enough to be vulnerable around? That's the thing. So, relationship is not for everyone. It shouldn't be. Because if it was, then it wouldn't be special. So, if you're red pill, blue pill, purple pills, black pills, orange pills, whatever the fucking pill you are, just be true to yourself. And if something's making you feel shameful, then you got to dig within yourself. Why am I so bothered by those who are actually in the relationship? Why do I feel like I have to quote unquote rescue them? What is this vigilante thing that I'm feeling? Do I feel like I have to preach the good word of the MGTOW gospel that women ain't shit? Why does that? How does that make my life better? You know, you might come across flashing your money, be like, hey, I got money, I got money, I got money. Okay, you got money. And it's like no type of bond. I'll give you a perfect example, right? I've been checking out Penny Proud's channel. If anyone y'all out there subscribe to her, she's funny as hell, and she's been covering a lot of these um MGTOW's journey. And it's like you've been listening to it, and it's like, yo, dude, do people actually think like that? And they all follow the similar patterns. And you have this guy, you know, he left Florida and to go and move in with some other dude all across from another state, some guys you don't even know. It's like, and you ask yourself, like, dude, how, do you have no family at all that would actually take you in your hardest time? You have to rely on a complete stranger. Why? Because we're MGTOW. And it's like that's all you have in connection with this dude. Your ability to talk shit about women, and then that makes you brothers. You know? But when a couple months will go by, not even a couple months, let's say a month or two top, will go by, and then they'll realize that they can't really stand each other and they're gonna fall off because the thing is you cannot build anything on hate. The problem is not outside. You have to be able to look within yourself and find out what are the qualities that I have that I need to keep, and what are the qualities that's actually keeping me behind in order for me to move forward in the next step in life. Otherwise, no matter which philosophy you adapt, no matter which cult of brotherhood you claim to belong to, if you rotten on the inside, ain't nobody can help you, man. The laws can be as fair as anything you could think of. It will still be fucked up. Know why? Because you have to make your own paradise. You have to have your own sphere and be very careful of who you let in. A lot of these dudes, they just want to, fuck anything that moves. And then surprise, the bitch is crazy. You didn't realize that before you stick her? Come on, dude. That's what the red pill's supposed to be about. It teaches you who you let in your circle. It teaches you how to be a better person. I know a lot of guys, they actually try to turn this around as if life, the only thing that matter in life is how much money you make, which is how somehow the conversation never really go anywhere because it's all about, look at how much money I got. Look at how much money I got. Look at how much money I got. I'm 70 years old. I will never hit the wall though. You probably got like what? A couple of kids here and there based on your venture. You never heard of them. And then once you like at an old age and then you try to look back in time and now you be like, that might be my kid. That might be my kid. Let me try to get back in touch with them. Try to create a connection with someone you were never around, just like your dad was never around. You know? So, and all you could do is just like, nah, dad, I don't want to fuck with you. You know? And that's where a lot of these dudes, they get messed up. You know? They're like, son, I wanted to be in your life, but you know how crazy your mama is. Wouldn't it be easier to make sure that you don't have kids with crazy women? I was sperm jacked. Yeah. Sometimes it's not always good to frequent some of these places. I'll give you that. A lot of these women are fucked up. Just like a lot of these men are fucked up. It's people, man. You have a small group of people that can be trusted, that can be within your circle, that you can actually have a certain relationship with. And the rest of them are just narcissistic, pathological liars. Sheep's and wolves clothing. You just got to learn how to see past the disguise. Do no harm, but take no shit. All right. This is Arbanaka. Share, like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.